Well, these cells here, the bees have constructed these cells slightly larger, as you can see from these, and they're designed for the queen to lay an egg in there that she doesn't fertilise. And so what hatches out of there are drones, because drones come from non-fertilised eggs. That's why they're only one set of chromosomes and not two.
The royal jelly?
Well, it's made in the glands of the younger bees.
Oh, I see. So,
all right.
Oh, so they feed her directly.
Directly, absolutely. They actually feed on the pollen and honey.
Yeah.
And then their metabolism converts it in their glands to royal jelly, and the royal jelly is then fed to the queen larva and the queen. Okay, so she's only ever fed royal jelly, and that's why she can lay 2,000 to 3,000 eggs a day, and that's 2 or 3 times her body weight.
Wow.
Because she doesn't have to bother with digestion. She just takes the food straight from the glands of the worker, it goes straight down into her gut, and in 4 hours can pass out of her gut, doesn't have to be digested, and then straight into the egg, and then is then laid. You can see just here some cells that haven't yet been sealed. Can you see a little grub in there? Yeah, that grub hasn't yet been fed sufficiently, or is not old enough yet to be sealed in. But they're sealed in for, when they've got to the right size, they're sealed in for 12 days. What you notice when they're born, they come out with a nice grey down, and just like human babies are downy when they're born, aren't they?
Yeah.
And after a few days the down wears off and they become, I hope we see this one coming out. I'll just try to ease it on its way a little bit. There.
There.
Right? See what I mean? How its
Yes.
body especially is a bit grey, isn't it? Grey and hairy just here. He's being fed now, look, you see? I think everybody knows the famous waggle dance, where a forager, having been out, found a nice source of nectar, comes back to the hive and can form a dance on the comb, which, very simply put, a vertical wriggly movement means the forage is towards the sun. Okay, up with the bees wriggling upwards. If it's wriggling downwards, it means the forage is in the opposite direction from the sun, and then you can go round the compass, as it were. All right, so they know the direction. And then the frequency of the runs can determine things like the distance in that particular direction and the quality of the nectar as well. And there's a certain amount of aroma there from the nectar droplets that are coming from that forager, which can say just what the scent and the nature of the nectar was, so that its mates, when they pick up the signals, can fly straight to it. So that's pretty remarkable. There's an air conditioning system that they've set up. Certainly in the summer, an air conditioning system for cooling and getting ventilation through. Okay, there are systems they've got evolved, and certain bees are responsible for ventilating and forcing air currents through. And other bees are responsible for gathering water to spread over the combs, so they get a cooling effect from the evaporation. All right, they all have their specific roles to do within the society. The big problem is when you've got bees dying inside the hive, and that's usually as a result of, again, beekeeper clumsiness, where he's actually squashed one or he's squeezed one, or then you'll have a dead bee inside the hive. And all that happens is the undertakers come round, find a dead bee, pick it up, take it outside. You often see them flying out about 10 yards. They'll drop it and then come back for the next one if there happens to be one there. Okay, so that's what they do to adult bees that die off.
Right.
There's your frame down there. Okay.
Well, that's nice with the light shining through, isn't it? Keep the thumb out of the way, Lynn. With actually water content overall being below 20.
You know, if we really understand the bees, then we could live much more fruitful lives ourselves in terms of cooperation and interaction. And in fact, I have a fairy tale in my book. It's Nature's Due, and the fairy tale is called The Beekeeper's Son. And it's a fairy tale I just wrote after reading that. The Secret Life of Bees. And it has a particular significance in my book because it's going from this looking for the meaning of life to asking the question, what is a life of meaning? So if you look for the meaning of life, you're on to an abstract, quest somewhere, some abstraction. You keep looking, looking, looking. If you look for a life of meaning, it's something you experience now, right now. You're in it, the way the bees are. And so I use the fairy tale to go in my book on a shift from seeing the world as one in which we humans look for meaning, but nature doesn't, to the idea that everything has lives of meaning. So the bees are, I don't know, they work in so many different contexts.